looks like she missed court on June 25th for that case. In 24 CM 805, she's been charged with 6 counts. Counts 1, 3, and 5 are each fail to cause a child to attend school. Each count subjects her to 30 days imprisonment, to $500 fine, or both. Counts 2, 4, and 6 are neglecting a child. Specific harm did not occur. Each count subjects her to 9 months imprisonment, $10,000 fine, or both.
We received a copy of both criminal complaints. I'd waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, enter not guilty pleas, and ask for any warrants to be canceled or vacated.
All right, I'll make a finding of probable cause and I'll vacate the warrant. State's bond recommendation.
Defendant missed court on the CT file, had to be brought in under arrest as opposed to contacting the court or arranging to come in on her own. She was out on a $500 signature bond. Based on that, I think some amount of cash is appropriate. I'd ask that signature bond be converted to a $500 cash bond. In the 24 CM 805, I just asked that be a situation that occurred over a period of time where the children weren't attending school. I believe a cash bond's appropriate. Ask for $300 cash on that, 100% school attendance with doctor's excuses for any absences.
Commissioner, on the CT file, Ms. Green informs me that she confused the times. She indicated to me that she called the courts, then she got something in the mail. Obviously, I can't see that right now, but the mail indicates a court date on the 9th. I looked at the CPAP record that I have here for the CT matter. It looks like it's actually the 30th of July. Given that she missed so recently, and it sounds like she tried, I got something in the mail for something else, perhaps. I would ask for her signature bond to be reinstated. I think that was her first missed appearance that I can see. On the newer matter, I would ask for a signature bond as well in the amount of $500. She is a single mom, takes care of 5 kids, and she is currently employed at Haribo. That being said, Your Honor, I think signature bonds in both matters are appropriate.
Okay, so with regard to bond, on 24 CT 125, I will reinstate the bond. She still cannot drive unless she has a license. We'll take the bond forfeiture hearing off the calendar. On 24 CM 805, I'm going to set a $200 cash bond. The kids have to go to school when school's in session. So we're going to give her one court date right now, and it's going to be for 2 cases. So tell her to listen carefully.
Status conference, August 16th at 8:30.
Okay, back to the next case. So is this going to be Ms. Martinez or Ms. Wesley?
Martinez is next.
Okay, State versus Francisca Martinez appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Ms. Martinez appears from the Seton County Jail with Attorney Ashcroft shortly thereafter.
As to 24 CF 792, the state would move to dismiss that at this time. It was reissued under 24 CM 810, where she's been charged with 6 counts. Count 1 is intentional use of oleocine spray causing bodily harm as a repeater, subjecting her to 2 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine, or both. Count 2 is the same charge, subjecting her to the same penalty of 2 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine, or both. Count 3 is felon in possession of the spray as a repeater, subjecting to 2 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine, or both. Count 4, count 5, count 6 are all contributing to the delinquency of a child as a repeater. Each count subjects her to 2 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine, or both. And count 7 is disorderly conduct as a repeater, subjecting her to 2 years imprisonment, a $1,000 fine, or both.
We received a copy of the criminal complaint. I'd waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, enter not guilty pleas.
I'll dismiss the felony case without prejudice. I'll make a finding of probable cause and enter a not guilty plea on the misdemeanor. State's bond recommendation.
State believes that some amount of cash is appropriate. I believe she may be on a probation hold. She's on probation for a felony case. She's got 6 prior convictions in the last 5 years. I believe that based on the facts of this case, based on the aggravated nature of being on supervision, taking juveniles with her to be involved in assaulting other individuals, the cash is appropriate. I'm going to ask for $1,500 cash.
Your Honor, she's still on the appeal hold. I'm asking for $200 cash.
I'm setting a cash bond in the amount of $1,000. She's not to possess any weapons, including pepper spray.
Yesterday, so that counts. Not a felony.
Sorry, Commissioner, how much was the bond on that one?
1,000, same as the felony.
Status conference, September 16th at 8:30.
Thank you.
State versus Jackie Westley appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Ms. Wesley appears from the Seton County Jail with Attorney Ashcroft. Good afternoon.
Defendant's been charged with 2 counts. Count 1 is possession of cocaine, subjecting her to 1 year imprisonment, $5,000 fine or both. Count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia, subjecting her to 30 days imprisonment, a $500 fine or both.
We received a copy of the criminal complaint. I waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, enter not guilty plea.
I will make a finding of probable cause and enter a not guilty plea. Does the state want to be heard on bond?
State would not object to a signature bond with conditions to include no controlled substances, monitoring by RCAP.
I will set a signature bond in the amount of $250. She's not to consume any controlled substances. She'll be tested by Racine County. I'll vacate any warrants if I haven't done that yet.
Status conference, September 3rd at 8:30.
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, can you repeat that?
September 3rd at 8:30.
Thank you. All right, here's some. Yeah, and they'll give you a notice when we get out. Just in case, but
Signature bond for today.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. No.
Oh, you're good.
So. Thank you.
Use Jackson.
All right.
You can sit there. Everybody else can sit.
All right, Mr. Jackson. It looks like you're on a hold. That's all. I'll
Is
ask
this
for-
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
State versus Michael Jackson appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Mr. Jackson's appearing for the Seton County Jail with Attorney Ashcroft. Good afternoon.
Defendant's been charged with 5 counts. Count 1 is theft of movable property. Special facts as a repeater, subjecting him to 10 years imprisonment, a $10,000 fine or both. Counts 2 and 3 are each possession of firearm by a felon as a repeater. Each count subjecting him to 14 years imprisonment to $25,000 fine or both. Count 2 is negligent handling of a weapon as a repeater, subjecting him to 2 years imprisonment to $10,000 fine or both. Count 5 is possession of tetrahydrocannabinols as a repeater, subjecting him to 2 years imprisonment to $1,000 fine or both. And count 6 is disorderly conduct as a repeater, subjecting him to 2 years imprisonment, a $1,000 fine or both.
We received a copy of the criminal complaint. I waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, request a preliminary hearing date.
I'll make a finding of probable cause. state's bond recommendation.
State believes that cash is appropriate. I also believe that he is on a supervision hold. He's on either probation or extended supervision. He's prohibited by law from possessing firearms, yet he goes and steals and then possesses not only the stolen gun, but a ghost gun that is also illegal. He knows better. He admitted as much, which is to his favor. But I believe that he poses a risk to the community, especially the way he was handling it, where he fired off a round accidentally that went through the neighbor's apartment. Believe that he's a threat and a danger to the community. I'm going to ask for $15,000 cash, no controlled substances, absolutely no weapons.
Given that he is on a DOT vehicle, unsure if that's moving forward revocation or not, I would ask for a $500 cash bond.
I'm gonna set a cash bond then in the amount of $5,000. He's not to possess any weapons. He's not to consume or possess controlled substances. Racine County testing.
Preliminary hearing, July 10th at 8:30.
Johnson, you were next.
This is your Mr. Johnson. I'm sorry, what was your name?
Johnson.
Okay, gotcha.
State versus State versus Juan Diaz.
No,
Jermaine Johnson.
Oh, State versus Jermaine Johnson appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Mr. Johnson's appearing from the Racine County Jail with Attorney Ash Castro.
Defendant's been charged with 3 counts. Count 1 is false imprisonment, domestic abuse assessments, subjecting him to 6 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine or both, and a mandatory $100 assessment. Count 2, misdemeanor battery, domestic abuse, subjecting him to 9 months imprisonment, $10,000 fine, the mandatory $100 assessment. Count 3, disorderly conduct, domestic abuse, subjecting him to 90 days imprisonment, a $1,000 fine or both, and a mandatory $100 assessment.
We've received a copy of the criminal complaint. I waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, request for preliminary hearing, please.
I'll make a finding of probable cause, state's bond recommendation.
As conditions of bond, the state's going to ask for absolutely no contact with the listed victim, EJ, person, place of employment, or residence. I understand they're married, but their inferences that this is not an isolated incident. Believe that based on the nature of the assault, that a cash bond is appropriate, and ask for $750 cash.
Your Honor, I would ask for a high signature bond. I would also agree with no contact with the alleged victim here. Mr. Johnson can stay with his sister, so that shouldn't be an issue. I'd note that his last run-in with the criminal justice system was in 2014, and his pretrial risk assessment comes back at very low risk.
I'm going to set a cash bond then in the amount of $2,500. As conditions of the bond, he is not to have any contact with the victim whose initials are EJ. So he's going to have to find another place to live.
Preliminary hearing, July 10th at 8:30.
Did you say July 10th?
July 10th.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'll take those 2 guys.
So it's $2,500. So your bond is $2,500 cash. I asked for one. She gave you cash.
I don't have 20. I don't have 20.
Got it in the next case.
Yes. Juan Diaz.
State versus Juan Diaz. Appearances.
For you.
Good.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Mr. Diaz appears from the Racine County Jail with Attorney Ash Castro.
This is a return on warrant. I'll vacate the warrant. It looks like we haven't seen him in court since 2022. Is there a reason he's not coming to court?
I'm working, I'm just trying to work on it now. Bring the kid down.
Your Honor, he indicates he was taking care of his two kids. He is a single father and working.
State want to be heard on bond?
State does. April 8th, 2022 is the last time he appeared in court. If he is a single father, if he is taking care of his kids, there's absolutely no reason in over 2 years he couldn't have contacted the court, contacted somebody to arrange to get this taken care of. He knew it was out there. He waited until he got arrested. I think that shows that he's an extremely high risk not to appear. The $250 cash that he posted obviously wasn't enough. I'm going to ask for $1,500 cash, same conditions.
I would ask for $200 cash, Your Honor. I understand that it's been quite a long time, but he is a single father. He does have a job, so he could maintain that. And I think he understands the importance of, if he doesn't come to court, this is where he's going to end up. So I'd ask for $200 cash.
I'm setting a cash bond amount of $1,000. No controlled substances, Racine County testing, no driving at all.
Status conference in the misdemeanor file on August 16th at 8:30, and then on the felony file, preliminary hearing July 11th.
Felony file? Yeah, we're just doing the, didn't we already?
My apologies.
Yeah, this is just Juan Diaz. Juan Mendez is later.
Thank you.
Okay.
And just status conference August 16th at 8:30.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, status conference, 8/16/30, $1,000 cash. Yeah. No, that's what she did. I'm sorry.
Okay, next is State versus Donald Frazier appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Mr. Frazier's appearance in the attorney asked cash to get after this.
Defendant's been charged with 1 count of operating a motor vehicle while under the influence, second offense, subjecting him to between 5 days and 6 months incarceration and a fine of $350 to $1,100 plus court costs.
Received a copy of the criminal complaint, wait formal reading for no rights and challenges, enter not guilty plea.
I'll make a finding of probable cause and will enter not guilty plea. I think he's on some sort of child support hold. The state might be heard on bond.
A signature bond based on the nature of this charge is fine.
Your Honor, it's not a child support warrant here. It's a DOC, probation, he's serving a sanction basically for 60 days. Or 90, sorry. I'd ask for $50 cash so he can earn some credit while he's sitting.
Okay, I'm gonna set a $1,000 signature bond plus a $50 cash bond. He is not to consume or possess any alcohol or controlled substances. He'll be tested by Racine County. He's not allowed to drive unless he has a valid license.
Status conference September 3rd at 8:30.
Thank you. I mean, all I have is the complaint, so it's really gonna come down to the police reports in that video that they're talking about.
And then is Mr. Marshall up there?
Are you Mr. Marshall? Sorry about that.
State versus Travell Marshall. He has 2 cases, appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Mr. Marshall appears from the Racine County Jail with Attorney Ash Castro.
Mr. Marshall's been charged with 2 counts. 24 CM 809. Been charged in count 1 with resisting an officer, subjecting him to 9 months imprisonment, $10,000 fine or both. Count 2 is obstructing an officer, subjecting him to the same penalties as count 1. Count 3 is operating a motor vehicle while revoked, subjecting him to 1 year imprisonment, to $2,500 fine or both.
We've received a copy of both complaints. I'd waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, enter not guilty, please.
I'll make the finding of probable cause on both cases. State bond recommendation.
Defendant's currently, it looks like, on a supervision hold. Based on that, I believe the sum amount of cash is appropriate, just to ask that he not drive unless validly licensed.
Your Honor, he's actually got a warrant from Dunn County. It's not supervision hold. I'd ask for a signature bond. He comes back as the low risk. I think he's got to also take care of whatever's going on in Dunn County.
Sure, but he can't drive there. He's a convicted drunk driver. He doesn't have a license. He can't drive. And it's alleged that he was driving in May and then he's still driving in July. On 24 CT 285, I'll set a $500 signature bond. No driving at all. On 24 CM 809, I'm setting a $200 cash bond. No driving at all.
Status conference September 3rd at 8:30.
Okay. I just missed it without that.
Okay, so you got to deal with Dunn County.
So then I think we're going to do the iPad defendants.
That's not for you. But yeah, Dunn County, I can't help you with, but
I'm trying.
it's hard, I'm sure.
Let's see.
All right, take a
This is Martin.
Okay. State first says Marquand Martin appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Mr. Martin's appearing from the iPad from the jail with Attorney Ashcraft, a separate part of the jail. Good afternoon.
Defendant's been charged with 1 count of possession with intent to deliver cocaine as a repeater, subjecting to 10 years imprisonment, 14 years imprisonment to $25,000 fine in both, or both.
To receive a copy of the criminal complaint, I'd waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, request a preliminary hearing date, please.
I'll make a finding of probable cause. What's the state's bond recommendation?
State believes that conditions should include no controlled substances monitoring by RCAP. Also, he is on a supervision hold, does have a fairly recent prior conviction. I would ask for $5,000 cash.
For a gram of cocaine?
Your Honor, he is on a DOC hold. I'd ask for $200 cash while he's sitting on that hold.
Okay, so with regard to bond, I'm going to set a $400 cash bond and a $1,000 signature bond. As conditions of the bond, he's not to consume or possess controlled substances. He'll be tested by Racine County.
Preliminary hearing July 11th at 8:30.
Thank you.
That is Mendez.
Okay, state first says Juan Mendez appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Mr. Mendez is appearing from Racine County Jail for the iPad with Attorney Ashcraft. Good afternoon.
Defendant's been charged with 3 counts. Count 1 is obstructing an officer, subjecting him to 9 months imprisonment, $10,000 fine, or both. Counts 2 and 3 are felony bail jumping. Each count subjects him to 6 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine, or both.
I received a copy of the criminal complaint. I'd waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, request a preliminary hearing date, please.
I'll make a finding of probable cause. What's the state's bond recommendation?
State believes that significant cash is appropriate. He's got 2 pending files, and one he posted $10,000, and the other he posted $500. Neither of them was enough to keep him from involving himself in criminal behavior by lying to officers and obstructing an investigation. Believe that the cash is appropriate to get his compliance and to get him to behave. So I'm going to ask for $10,000 cash with the other conditions in the other files.
I'd be asking for $500 cash. I understand the state's concern, but at least from our sheet in here, it looks like Mr. Mendez is not currently employed. He does have 6 children and he is single, so he does take care of those children. And he's been in the Racine area his entire life.
I'm setting a $1,000 cash bond.
Preliminary hearing, July 11th at 8:30.
Thank you.
Mrs. Miller,
Okay, State versus Sarah Miller appearances.
Dirk Jensen appears on behalf of the state.
Miss Miller is appearing from the Racine County Jail with Attorney Ashcraft. Good afternoon.
Defendant's been charged in 2 files in 24 CM 807. She's charged with 1 count of misdemeanor retail theft as a repeater, subjected to 2 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine or both. In 24 CM 808, she's charged with 1 count of misdemeanor retail theft as a repeater, subjecting to 2 years imprisonment, $10,000 fine or both.
I've received a copy of both criminal complaints. I'd waive formal reading, preserve rights and challenges, enter not guilty pleas on both files.
I'll make a finding of probable cause, will enter not guilty pleas. Do the state want to be heard on bond?
The state does. My understanding is she actually is on a Department of Corrections hold. I just asked that she have a cash bond in each file and no contact with any targets or festival foods.
She is on a DLC hold, Commissioner. I'd ask for $100 cash on each.
All right, I'll set a $100 cash bond on each case. The conditions of bond are she's not to have contact with festival foods and Target stores.